St. Louis, St. Louis, the Lou, Mound City, gateway to the West, gateway to a murder. Melody Sterling was holed up in a little motel no-tell in East St. Louis, not a very friendly place. I mumbled nothing to myself and stopped into a speakeasy for a quick stiff one to cut through the cold heat on my way to see her. I came to the hotel, went through the dank, dusty lobby, and rode the doorless elevator to floor number 7. The hallways were coated in gaudy wallpaper, were stripped down to the core with ballpoint pen scribblings littering their surface. There were strange noises in each room as I passed by.
That's what I've been trying to tell you, but you ain't been trying to hurt me. Well,
come on now, y'all. What y'all wearing chain gonna do tonight?
And finally I came to her door.
Oh.
Hello, Glamorous.
Hey there, sailor. You new in town?
She held a slender crystal flute of champagne between her red lacquered fingernails. She wore a red negligee thingy trimmed with lace. She was barefoot. I was dizzy. Around her neck hung a piece of red ice from a thin gold chain, rose gold. I thought yellow gold would look better. It was a fat piece of red ice, a chunk. The red of the ice set off the red of her dainties, and the red of her dainties set off the pale of her skin, and the pale of her skin set off me. I thought of strawberries and cream. I thought of blood and snow. I turned my back on her. Excuse me, baby, I didn't mean to catch you in your underbits.
Oh, it's nothing, Mr. Lung. Please, come on in. I could slip into something a little less comfortable, if it would make you a little more comfortable.
Baby, I'm never comfortable. I went inside, and then she turned her back on me.
Can I interest you? In some champagne?
Butterwings, you've already got my interest in that silk. I don't see why you should have to get into some champagne, too. She walked to the far side of the room. Her costume was cut low in the back to reveal her bare shoulder blades. They arched out, smooth as ivory, white as lilies, like the polished stubs of some sawed-off wings. She was like a dismembered angel. She sat down and curled up in an obese faux leather chair. She was showing some leg. She had a lot of leg. She had legs from here to Shinola. Looking at her was like being shot in the face with a flintlock blunderbuss. I felt hot. Then I felt cold. Then I felt hot again. I wiped my brow with my handkerchief. Maybe I will take up a splash of that bubbly.
Help yourself.
May I?
To the bubbly, as you so crudely put it.
Crude bubbles, eh? But bubbles aren't crude at all, baby. A bubble is a perfect form, a perfect swirling sphere, the most stable structure possible with the least amount of surface area, requiring the least amount of energy to form it. It's nature doing things the easy way. Simple, elegant, beautiful. You know a little something about perfect form, don't you, angel ears?
Why, enough to know that you're in bad form, Mr. Lung. I was under the impression that this meeting was in regards to our business dealings.
Oh, sure. Excuse me, but that explains the formal attire.
Fresh.
I poured myself a drink. That's when I noticed the 35mm film Nikon camera on the dresser. There was a coiled wire gadget next to it. Your camera, Miss Sterling?
Oh, no. I wouldn't know the first thing about using one. It was Johnny's, a sort of hobby of his.
To shoot things.
Pictures. To shoot pictures.
Yeah, of course. Now tell me, Miss Sterling, did he prefer to shoot color or black and white?
Most decidedly color. Black and white is too dreary. Yes, Johnny did like film. He said it was prettier, more romantical than the gadgets people use today.
What's the curly wire thing next to it used for?
Oh, that. I believe that's a plunger, a contraption used if you have the camera on a tripod and don't want it to shake when you push the button. You can press it from afar with that.
You just said you didn't know the first thing about using a camera, Miss Sterling.
Well, Johnny did, and I watched him do it 100 times.
Smile.
Stop that! Stop it.
Now, don't be camera shy, baby. You look phenomenal.
I'll have you know I've been photographed many, many times, Mr. Lung. More times than you could possibly imagine.
Pretty as a picture. I brought my drink over and sat beside her. What are we celebrating? I lifted the champagne.
Misery, sorrow, loneliness, isolation. Oh, wait. Grief, melancholy.
Nice.
Clinical depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, delirium, doom, death. Oh, and love.
True and deep love.
So, where'd you get the nasty shiner?
Oh, this? Hadn't you heard? The cops are handing them out for free.
The cops?
Yeah, that's right, she. They paid me a little visit at the office.
Why? Well, what did they want? What were they doing there?
They, rearranged my furniture for me.
Oh, rearranged your face.
Yeah, that too. They found a handkerchief with my initials by the body.
What?
Don't worry. They can't pin it on me. They did want a name, though, so I gave them one. Yours.
Mine? I told you from the start, Mr. Lung, no police. This is unacceptable.
Now calm down, baby. I had to give them something to get them off my back. Besides, it's a win-win situation for us. By giving them your name, I got their attention. I told them about the laminator, too.
Huh?
Yeah, that's right. I told them about the laminator. Now they'll go there and look it over in ways I'm not capable of, see? We got them working for us now.
Well, good, because someone needs to be punished.
Do you need to be punished? I gave her the hard stare, the one with the eyes that cut like a knife. Then I softened it a little. She simply lowered her eyes and slowly shook her head. Left, right, left, right, showing me her good side, then turning to show me her good side. I admired the line of her jaw. Well, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, baby.
You didn't hurt them, Mr. Lung. You may have done something to them, but you sure didn't hurt them.
Good. She blew in my ear. What's that for? She did it again as though I were some candle flame, waiting to be extinguished by the mere exhalation of her lungs from within her chest, hot from the proximity to her heart, through her lips and over me. I said, what's that for?
You.
Me?
You looked hot.
Me?
You.
Thanks. So the cops are in the game now. Only they won't connect to you, I'll be sure of that. I told them we communicated exclusively by telephone. They're a sloppy lot. An hour after they left me, they called back after realizing they wanted to tap my phone and trace your calls. I said no. They said yes. I said no. They said yes. I asked them how they'd like it if I told the DA about the search they did on my office without a warrant. They shut up. Now, while they're checking out the laminator, I'll be looking this case over from another angle. I wanted to ask you about the riverboat you and Johnny took up here.
The riverboat? What about it? I can't see the importance of it.
Everything's important, baby. We've got to look at every angle here.
Okay, well, they were just some river rats, some kids. The river's littered with creepy kids and brutes like that. They treat the water like it's their playground, zip around on boats, live off the shore, scrounging for change, stealing, thugging about, setting fires. They'll do anything for a buck. A little dough, and they were glad to give us a ride. You don't want to get involved with them, Harvey.
But you did get involved with them, and that means I'm involved. You've got any names?
No.
Not one name, huh? The whole time you didn't hear one single name or ask for one.
It was a casual transaction. Johnny did all the talking.
Now listen, suppose one of them followed you into the bar knowing where you were, because that's where they put you, and then figured that you had enough money to buy a trip upriver. Maybe you had a little more, and maybe they had the right to take it from you with a bullet, or maybe they were keen on the drugs you were carrying and wanted that too, How do you figure on that?
They were just some mugs. You don't want to go down there. You'll meet swamp kids, kids who have 2 heads and no arms, kids with alligator skin, kids with beady eyes and forked tongues. The catfish boy, they'll throw rocks at you, and maybe worse, they'd roll you for a cigarette. Shucks, they'd roll you for your pocket lint just for the fun of it. Arkansas, Tennessee. It gets deep down there, Mr. Lung. Wild.
Hey, spare me the freak show talk. Looks like I'm taking a trip downriver.
I tell you no. Your focus should be up here where the crime happened.
Your story, Miss Sterling, is just about as clear as the Mississippi River itself.
Are you suggesting...
Look, I've been piecing this thing together, see, and too many of the pieces don't fit the parts.
Pieces don't fit the parts?
The parts don't fit the pieces. It doesn't coagulate, congeal, doesn't grab. There's no reconciliation. Listen to me. Listen, that body by the river wasn't killed by a bullet. So it's not your Johnny. Not if he was killed the way you say he was. By a gun.
How do you know that?
Hypostasis.
What?
I looked at that body, Melody. Looked it over real good. Hypostasis is the accumulation of blood in the lower parts of the body. It occurs under the influence of gravity when the heart stops beating.
Yucky.
The blood draws down to the lowest parts of the corpse. The skin gets blotchy and discolored as a result. Now, the degree of hypostasis was too extreme in that corpse. He wouldn't have lost that much blood from one gunshot. I think that body was killed from a violent beating to the face, resulting in massive blood loss. See, the body doesn't bleed so much after death. Everything's too dried up. So if the face was removed after he was killed, he wouldn't have lost so much blood. You understand? I read the stains, I read the blotches on the skin. It gives me a picture, kind of like your camera there.
I said it was Johnny's camera.
Yeah, sure you did.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
Because I'm telling you now.
Well,
I deal out information as I see fit. I didn't have to tell you before. I say things when they need to be said. Holding out can help to let others put out. Anyway, there's only one thing that's certain, beyond the shadow of a doubt. There's a shadow that's afraid of its own shadow. In the dark.
What?
Exactly. Looks like your old friend Harvey's going down the river. Oh, I'm shaking in my boots. Busy. Busy.